Shout out to Phenom Black, Miss Music Lover, Twan Burgundy, Silent Ace Media, man. Mindset of a young nigga with idle time. They say a devil's workshop is an idle mind. This hip-hop infiltrated by a wicked built industry. I'm representing for the underground. Independence, Fifth Amendment, freedom of speech, the revolution is pending. But it's cool cause you see we on a mission. Television off, this a viral petition. Man, and I hope you pay attention. The WM48, we keep it real.
What is up, everybody? You're listening to the Where's My 40 Acres podcast. And since we got early access, man, this is Luke Cage season 2. Yo, shout out to Chio. Met him at Wakama-Con here in Baltimore. Really cool guy. Hopefully we can get him on the podcast for an interview. But until then, let's go ahead and talk about season 2, which everybody is going to get to see the 22nd. Is that a door?
No, that is my dog.
Luke is sad about season 2. I understand.
Yes, this Luke is.
that Luke is sad about what happens to this Luke. When you share a name with a man, you kind of feel a little closer to him. Season 2 of Luke Cage. Luke is still walking the streets, kicking ass, and there's some additions that they added to make this season more in tune with the digital age. We got a couple of people returning, and then we got a bunch of new castings. So let's go through real quick everybody that's returning, and then let's talk about these phenomenal people that they cast to be the newcomers, which are specifically there for a really, really in-depth story that almost has absolutely nothing to do with Luke Cage's season, which is completely fine.
For me, it took over. I was more interested in them than Luke Cage.
I don't think that's by accident. I mean, for anybody who's wondering if you are familiar with the comic, a question I can go ahead and answer for you without really spoiling anything is, does Mariah become Black Mariah? And yes, I don't read Luke Cage comic books. I didn't realize she was that fucking evil.
That's my first time knowing that she was part of the comic book like that.
Yeah, I know everybody was upset about what happened to Mahershala Ali, Cottonmouth, aka Cornell Stokes. And everybody was upset about that because it's Mahershala Ali. He's just a fucking amazing actor. But I think the writers and the directors this season were able to craft a really good story that still included his character without actually needing him here for season 2.
I agree.
Let's go ahead and do this casting. So, of course, Mike Coulter is back as Luke Cage. Simone Missick is back as Mercedes Knight, a.k.a. Misty.
Armlet.
Yes, the one-armed bandit.
It also started where the Defenders left off.
So if anybody was wondering, Luke Cage is not in any type of Marvel Universe order. These seasons are order, okay, for these different characters. So this is after the Defenders, which is the same way I assume Jessica Jones season 2 is also after the Defenders.
Right. Yeah, she made mention of some things that happened in Defenders.
Misty Knight is back as the one strong arm of the law.
Terrible.
Rosario Dawson is back as Claire for a short while. There was already there was already articles coming out speculating that she was leaving the Netflix Marvel universe. Yeah, like she might not be returning for any of these films. She's tired of healing these people. So
I mean, because she's literally healed all of them.
Yeah.
I remember at one point it was some weird sexual chemistry between her and Daredevil, but
yeah. Or did I say Matt? That's the name, right? Matt? Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah, Matt. They tried to force that. That really wasn't working. And to be honest, they tried to force it with Luke Cage as well. And I'm wondering if that has anything to do with her parting from the show, but she might have something else that she's working on. I don't know. She's not here that much, and it's fine because there's just not much story that they can tell with her character with all the other story going on this season. Alfre Woodard is back, of course, as Mariah Dillard, a.k.a. Mariah Stokes, which is very important this season. Teo Rossi is back as Hernan Alvarez, a.k.a. Shades. Some other people that are back. I think Sugar was in first season. He's back.
Oh, yeah, he was in the first one.
Yeah, Pretty Boy Henchman.
Beat first time.
Ron Cephas Jones as Bobby Fish is back for a short while. I mean, there are side characters that I don't know the names of, that come
Those
back.
are pretty much the main people that are back.
There's also one guy who's in all the in Netflix Marvel shows as well. He makes an appearance, a very short-lived appearance for a couple of hot seconds just to talk some smack, which is what he typically does. So new characters. So new characters would be Comanche, which is Thomas Q. Jones. He is a new henchman recently released from prison.
No, he was in recurring too.
Was he recurring? I don't remember Comanche from last season. Is he recurring?
Yeah, he was. He was.
Oh, that's right. They beat him up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's short.
So he's recurring.
Yeah, but he wasn't a regular.
He got the little dreads in his head.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, but he wasn't a regular. Like, he really was a side henchman at that point. I guess that's
he was, but he was in the first one, so it's not like he's new.
He ain't had no story. He got a story this season, okay? He is a new character. That nigga didn't know he was coming back as a regular, y'all. That's a new character.
The only story was him and Shades are friends, and, you know, they were together in the initial
ass whooping of Carl Lucas.
Trying to beat him.
Right. So, okay. So he was now irregular for this season, every episode. The big name that's going to be dropping out of everybody's mouth after the end of this season, of course, is going to be John McIver, a.k.a. Bushmaster, which is Mustafa Shakur. And I don't know if Twan watched this. Deidre, did you watch The Night Of on HBO?
No. Is he in that?
Yes. He plays a prisoner that does some really foul shit. And his face bothered me this whole season until I realized who he was. And I was like, that dirty motherfucker. But he's so good as Bushmaster. I like him as Bushmaster, but I hated him as that son of a bitch in The Night Of.
Really? I mean, he takes on the presence of like, who is this if you don't know? So, you know, I started the Googles and I saw he was in other things that I haven't seen. But I mean, he does so well playing this character in Luke Cage. But one of the things I just kept looking at, I was like, is his eyes really real? Because they're like a purplish blue.
I thought they were like a gray color.
Like, I think they've changed because at some points they look purplish blue, and even in like pictures I saw on Google, they looked purplish blue. I've seen like a grayish color, and then even like a blue green. It kind of reminds me of what's the girl from Love and Hip Hop, Yandy, but that's actually his eye color. Like, I believe it. It's actually really neat, but he plays the hell out of this character.
The reason behind his eye color changing on screen might possibly could have been the fact that his stunt double also couldn't get that wig right. I don't know if y'all caught that this season, but I definitely caught a couple of them fight scenes. I was like, so them dreads that his stunt double is wearing, that is not his hair. And that he all of a sudden he got baby twists. I was like, that whatever wig that is, it's not the Mustafa Shakur wig. Okay, it's close, but it ain't.
So funny.
So Reg E. Cathy, RIP to him, he passed away earlier this year, returns and has a prominent role as James Lucas, Reverend Pastor James Lucas.
Did you ever watch House of Cards?
I watched the first season. So I know he cooked ribs.
He's Freddie.
Yeah, I know he cooked ribs.
Yeah.
He cooked back alley ribs. He did. He cooked back alley DC ribs.
Yeah, that was Freddie. He was Freddie from House of Cards.
I did watch the game for like 4 seasons. So when I seen Gabrielle Dennis, I was like, oh shit, the one that he should not have cheated on with Tia with. Like, that was the one he should have kept. She was a good one. I don't know what he was tripping. What's his name? Darren or whatever? That nigga Darren was fucking tripping when he cheated on Gabrielle Dennis in the game. But she returns as Tilda Johnson, the estranged daughter, it seems, of Mariah Dillard, aka Mariah Stokes. So if you read the comics, don't spoil it for everybody else, but that is a big part of the story this season.
Because I saw something and I said, oh, and then I Googled, Wikipedia, and then it was funny because she says the name in one of the scenes. And I was like, oh, how funny, because that's, whatever.
They do add some other side characters whose names I don't know. We'll probably find out later. One of them is DW, is this new kid who is like hanging out in the shop at Pops, and he does a whole lot of viral stuff of Luke Cage, and he's selling merchandise and making money off of Luke Cage, but ain't giving this nigga no money the whole season. So
hilarious.
That's
So the guy that plays Piranha
Jones.
Yeah, he looks very familiar. I just can't.
He's in a lot of
I
stuff.
just didn't. Yeah, I just remember that big ass grin.
That actor is in a lot of stuff, like not leading, but I've seen him in a bunch of like 90 shows he's been in. He's been in black movies before for sure. His character was interesting. I actually like Piranha Jones when they got down to the nitty gritty of his character. Oh, they add two new, I don't know if they're two new police officers, but they bring in this frenemy from Misty Knight that is another detective.
That's
and her name
corny.
is Nandi, that they kind of bring in to be
We really didn't need her.
opposing. Look, I gotta be honest. I'm gonna get in trouble for this one. That is a wig, right? That is okay.
It's a horrible lace
wig.
Wig. I was like, it literally looks like a baseball cap on her head. And I was like, as much money as they have, y'all couldn't do no blending. All these other women got nice, weaves or natural hair. Ma'am, I would have been outraged.
I thought it was hilarious. They also introduced some new gangster characters from different mob families and really get into the nitty gritty of it towards the end of the season. So that's another path that you have to look forward to watching this season. And there are other side characters. We're really not about to sit here and go through all of them.
Like Cockroach.
So interesting.
Was he in the first one?
He is not in the first one, but did you look up his profile?
No.
You didn't look up his information, did you? So his opposition in this season is Misty Knight, right? Like he treats her like shit. Right.
Calls her, bitch, all that good stuff.
So you realize that's Simone's husband in real life, right?
Goodbye. Are you serious?
That is I follow both of them on Instagram because he's an indie actor. He's been in a lot of stuff. That is absolutely Simone's husband, which I thought was amazing that they cast him as Cockroach. That's why their chemistry was so fucking good. That vile shit he said to her. It's so good, yo.
Use your hips for stuff.
It's so good. Yeah. Their chemistry was great. And if you look him up, his last name is Missick. Like if you'd have just looked him up in the casting, you would have been like, wait, hold on. How many Missicks is in the world?
Right. Wow.
Yeah, so that's her husband. They
did a great job with that.
That was when I saw his face, I was like, oh, that's fucked up. They cast her husband to play this vile motherfucker.
And I mean, y'all see it, but he's disgusting.
Yeah, he's disgusting as shit. The new captain of the force, Rittenhauer, plays a pretty prominent role this season.
Yeah, because remember before their captain was on the first season was a woman.
Right.
Soror. Remember, I know Missy always used to tease her about that.
Mm-hmm. The lawyer, Big Ben, is on everybody's case this season.
Yeah, he's all the crooks lawyer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is. From Bushmaster's side of things, his loyal friend,
Sheldon, I think.
Is it Sheldon? And then his uncle, Anansi.
His uncle looks familiar.
I think Sheldon, his henchman, is actually in a commercial that plays on TV. But the little fade he got is a little taller. But I'm not sure if it's the same person because he don't have an accent. He's not Jamaican. So that's another thing that's prominent this season that is a new casting member. Jamaican accents. I had to look up a whole lot of patois terminology to understand. I thought they was calling them kids pygmies. I was like, why are they calling everybody's child a pygmy?
Was like a pygmy?
Pygmy. Calling them a pygmies.
No, I did a lot. I learned there's a Caribbean Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, you need to.
Because I Googled so much stuff.
I tell you this, I was proud of myself because when I went back and watched season 2 for the second time, I didn't need a caption on. I could understand everything they were saying.
Netflix, their captions change it to English. Every time they say like me gonna do something, they were like, I
think even when they said that pygmy, they said children.
Yes. And it would say Jamaican, but they just was like, we don't feel like changing this, Jamaican. After watching this whole season, I can tell you this much. I am from now on calling Thanos and Thor Tor, because me like Thanos. They speak in like just this fluid tongue.
I love it.
There are no pauses, especially when they get angry.
When they get excited, oh yeah, because we got some at work. Oh yeah, and I guess too, especially with people with accents, you talk different when you're around family. So even though I talk different when I'm with family than I'm with anybody else, because you're home to hear them, speak to anybody else. But then if they get another homegirl that's from the same country,
Oh, it's
or
on.
you know, oh Lord, they be going. I love it.
That shit like churning butter. It's just it just get in
I yell at
rotation.
my clients basically saying, "Hear me now," like like that's what I started saying now.
It's real. Those are the castings, and I guess the storyline for this season, it pretty much has to do with them playing with the concept of the Heroes for Hire, which for people who don't know, Heroes for Hire is Iron Fist and Power Man, which is another name that they allude to for Luke Cage throughout this season. They don't really call him that, but I think at one point there are like Power Man shirts. There are cameos from other Defenders, which y'all wanted from Defenders. Danny does show up. They have a whole, we gonna do this Heroes for Hire shit for a few episodes. So that's interesting. They played around with that. And the chemistry between him and Danny, as it was in Defenders, is still good. He makes Danny a better person. Thank God. Off the back of this, finishing this season, they recently just announced that Iron Fist Season 2 will come this year as well.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So he's coming back. It's less about Luke Cage being personally involved, more like he is a tool or a protector of the city. He is involved in everyone's situation, but it's really about Bushmaster versus Black Mariah. And I think that really sets this season off. Like that brings a whole new story and element to Luke Cage. And I understand that they needed to tell Carl Lucas's story, right? But I really feel like this should have maybe been the first season.
I agree, because I know they have, the internal issues between, with Luke, things happening with him from the past, along with things with father and stuff. But yeah, like the stuff with Bushmaster, with Mariah, that background information, it was very intriguing. I caught myself more getting excited about those scenes, finding out more information about that background than anything else, especially Bushmaster. Like all his scenes, and I mean, just the story behind everything with him was really good.
Mariah Stokes.
Like he would refuse Dylan Stokes.
And the comic is real low. He doesn't have a lot of background. He fleshed him out in this jump.
Yeah, they built his character. They did a really good job of character development with him. To be quite honest, I understand that he is a villain, but by the end of it, I just kind of more sided with him as a hero, because you have this thing with heroes in these shows, and it's what keeps these villains going. It's the fact that they don't just get them the fuck out of here. They are a cancer. And they don't get them out of the situation because they want to follow the law, right? They want to be the upstanding vigilante citizen who follows some type of code. And Bushmaster, Bushmaster like Shades. There is a code that they follow. But there's also, like, if it's a problem, we don't keep sweeping that shit up under the rug. Okay, we need to clean house. And even with Bushmaster's character, it's just way more fucking personal between him and Black Mariah. That story is just, it's kind of emotional when you're watching what went down, because you get one version of things because it's presented from the outside. But once you really get into the psyche of Bushmaster and what happened, you're like, oh, well, fuck. And at that point, it's kind of like, let these villains go at it. And that's what they pretty much do. So like the last 5 episodes of this season are just, you kind of latched on. There's just action. Really There's guns and action, explosions. It's just a bunch of shit. And it's definitely it's probably some of the best writing. When I watched it the first time, I was like, I don't know. It's a lot going on. When I watched it the second time, I was like, this might be some of the best writing that any one of these shows has done. I thought Jessica Jones season 2 was good. And I'm kind of putting Luke Cage season 2 on par with that.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. At first was, in the beginning, it kind of was like, I guess felt dragging a little bit, but once you start to get in more into the stories and, things started to unfold, it got to be really, really good. And then just like you said, especially towards the later half, once everything started coming together and, the outcomes of all the stuff, it really, really was good. So I would put it up there with season 2 of Jessica Jones too.
I know one thing that Cheo Hodari Coker told us that they made sure to do this season was to bring in more female directors, and they absolutely did. And
didn't Lucy Liu do one? Didn't she direct the episode?
Lucy Liu did the first episode. Sally Richardson Whitfield did episode 4. And it just continues from there. I think out of the 13 episodes this season, maybe 6 or 7 women directed episodes. That was really dope because they also had a lot of women writers too. I think that was necessary for the stories that they were telling, especially the relationship between Black Mariah and Tilda Johnson. Even the stuff going on with Misty, there's the whole storyline with Misty Knight and her going through dealing with her handicap. And she's still dealing with the stuff that happened to Candace Miller last season.
I really believe it kind of showed with a lot of the characters, you know, Misty with Black Mariah, Tilda, and I mean even Claire. Just the fact of that these were strong women that, you know, they made decisions not based off of any other thing, but, you know, what's going to be best for me, what's going to, you know, be best for the family, I guess, as Mariah would like to say. Most of the main characters were not weak women.
Right.
And, you know, that was really good to see. So you can definitely see how, you know, female writers and female direction can play a part in that as well.
Yeah, the theme for Luke Cage, I felt like he had was daddy issues, hero for hire, and this whole what he should be doing to save Harlem, this whole King of Harlem thing. And for everybody else that's an important character, the theme seems to be family first, which is in every episode. Just every episode, there is a mention of family first. I absolutely recommend that y'all watch season 2 of Luke Cage twice, because there are foreshadowing elements in earlier episodes, which I don't know how they're able to do that when they have different writers for each episode, but there is foreshadowing statements and commentary made by people that if you have not seen the season already, you don't make the connection. So there's like something that's said in episode 2 that actually corresponds to something that happens in like episode 9. But if you haven't seen the season, you just won't pick it up.
Right.
And I thought that really spoke to the writing. If I had to complain about the writing, which I'm going to right now, some of the stuff that they had Alfred Woodard say that was supposed to be like new wave colloquialisms, like hip hop colloquialisms.
She said nigga a lot, which was cracking me up.
Which she called herself the head nigga in charge at one point, which I thought was dope. But it was other stuff, like she said, like in one scene, she said from the windows to the wall. And I was like, no, no, no. And remember, there was stuff I told you that they had like Luke Cage doing one-liners in the first episode. And I was like, no.
When I saw him dab, I was like, nope, no.
Like, please
get
stop.
That shit out of here.
Don't do this.
Oh. And let's not make it corny. And that's what it made it. And his little catchphrase, corny. Like, even Claire called him out. Like, did you just say that?
Yo, when Claire called him out, Claire plays the audience a lot this season, which is fine by me because, you know, I like that about her. She is supposed to be like the ground and the balance. And she has a line that I thought was awesome, and it has something to do with her saying, I need the ocean this season.
Oh, yeah. I need the ocean. Like, I need space. I need time.
There's that. I thought that was a beautiful line, and you know, you'll see what it pertains to when you watch the episode. I just like a lot of stuff about this season on the second viewing. And for anybody listening right now, we're actually going to have episodic reviews as well. But just for right now, until the season actually drops on June 22nd, this is what you're getting from us. So no spoilers, anything like that. I will say the fucking fighting from Bushmaster this season is goddamn amazing.
Whew.
My nigga's doing like capoeira and like kickboxing martial arts, and that juxtaposed with Luke Cage's I'm big, strong, and still street fighting, I thought was perfect.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, even so, you know, with the stunts, especially for I guess with Luke Cage and the fighting stuff, you could tell there is more of quote unquote more of it in this season, you know, than last season, but. Yeah, especially with Bushmaster, it's like some Tekken 2, you know, off the wall stuff.
Oh, he's
like,
definitely on his Eddie Gordo. He's definitely on his Eddie Gordo. There are a lot of pair-ups this season, so y'all have that to look forward to.
Yeah.
With the fights.
Like good ones, not just Luke throwing people around.
Oh yeah, the pair-ups absolutely make sense. And I like the stuff that they did with social media as well. The capturing of the footage and things going viral. I thought all of that like really hit home.
How did you feel about the interactions with Mariah and Shades?
So
without not saying
so I don't know if it's Teo or Theo, but I'm gonna assume it's Teo Rossi. And I'm probably wrong. I'm sorry, man. Rossi is from Sons of Anarchy, and I already have issues with the way they dealt with his character in Sons of Anarchy, because in Sons of Anarchy he became a snitch, and they ended up sending him to prison, and he became Marilyn Manson's bitch. I'm not even joking about this. This is
really?
Yes, he becomes Marilyn Manson's bitch like the last 2 seasons of Sons of Anarchy. The way his character is handled, because he didn't want to reveal. If you have not seen Sons of Anarchy, please turn this off because I don't want to spoil it from you, despite the fact that it ended like 3 years ago.
It's on Netflix too, I believe.
Probably is. He does not want to reveal that he is part black, because you cannot be a person of color and be in the Sons of Anarchy. And that sends him down this spiral of shit that they write for his character, where he is just crippled and treated vile and becomes just an empty vessel of a person. Besides that, but his acting is amazing. Teo can act his fucking ass off, because he truly acted like I'm in a shitty ass situation. And I felt like with Shades, he was able to more emote and show his character was dynamic, because Shades seems one-dimensional. But he's not.
First season from him.
Yeah, he's not. And I thought that was dope, because they showed it. He is a what do I want to say? He is a product. That's what I was trying to find the word. He is a product of the game. And he lives by the game. You know, he is a gangster in the streets of Harlem. That's just what he is. And there are rules and there are codes, and there's things you do and don't do, and there's how you handle shit and don't handle shit. And that's what he follows. But he gets trapped in this web with Mariah. And I know it's going to look awkward to some people.
The first episode, remember, even when they were at, I think, at the club or somebody's club, and someone made a comment. Like, what's going on?
Misty makes a comment to her later in the season about their little relationship thing. But I thought it was interesting. I thought because he and Alfred are such great actors that they pulled it off very well, and all the way to the end. I thought they did a really good job. So that's something interesting to look forward to this season as well. One relationship that I wish that they had built more on, and I hope to see them build more on it in season 3. Y'all are getting a season 3 for sure. Is the relationship between Luke Cage and Tilda Johnson.
Yeah, because they had that little moment.
Right. I thought that was going to go further than it did this season.
Because it was really there. Like, it was like undeniable.
You got to save some stuff because there's more story to be told here. You know, the cards have been laid out on the table for season 3, and I think everybody is going to be on edge like, shit, it's about to get really dark. Season 3, and we have that to definitely look forward to, and all of the things in between. So I guess other than that, I don't really want to spoil anything else of the people until we get to our spoiler episodes, which they can listen to on their own. You'll be able to find them on the same podcast and YouTube channel here. I will say the music this season is fucking amazing.
Dope.
My God, like they cherry picked the right acts that were able to portray the atmosphere of the episode and the theme surrounding. And I thought it was dope. Like that fucking, like, I don't even want to spoil it, but some people that they're gonna be some surprises, and then there are gonna be some people that you see that you recognize, like Jadakiss is here, There's more Wu-Tang here, not just songs, but performances. There's a lot of classic hip hop. And then there's other genres that play into the other characters on the show and their cultures. And I can't wait to get this shit on vinyl.
The first season's music selection was dope.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that it wasn't, ruined for whatever reason, that they continued with, like you said, cherry picking the right people to emote the right emotions for whatever scene is going on. And, they picked phenomenal people. Like I said, I had Shazam on, like, oh, who's this? Some people I didn't know, but I was like, this voice, like, what in the world?
There's some singing going on this season, y'all. And it is not randomly chosen music. It is, a lot of those songs I feel like were originally written for this season by some of these artists. And I thought that was perfect as well. Like, my God, man, like Jadakiss can grow hair. That's he said he could in an interview, but I didn't believe him. He can. It's something y'all have to look forward to. I mean, if you had to put this season in an order of ranking for all of the shows, so we're talking 2 seasons of Daredevil, 2 seasons of Jessica Jones, 1 season of Iron Fist, a season of The Punisher, and a season of Defenders. Where would you put this?
Defenders was good. I did enjoy the Defenders. Like, I thought that was really good with all of them together. I don't count Iron Fist. Okay. So I would put it up there with like I said, the Jessica Jones part, the second season, and also I would put it even maybe not all the way up there, but close to the Daredevils. That would be for me, because at first I didn't know, but the more I watched it, the more intriguing, and especially like with the other backstories as far as for, like we said, Bushmaster and, Mariah, that definitely like drew you in to a lot of stuff. So, yep. And even, Mariah's daughter's character too, as well. So yeah, I would put it up there.
I like when they ante up the seasons, when they look at what they did wrong and you can tell they came back and they fixed it. And then you get the second season. And I think these Marvel Netflix shows have really done well at that, fixing some things from the last season. I know people have complained, but I honestly don't agree with any of those critiques or opinions about the second seasons. For me, I think all of the second seasons are my favorites. Like, those are my top 3. Daredevil season 2, Jessica Jones season 2, and Luke Cage season 2 are my favorite right now. And from there, it's like Daredevil 1, Jessica Jones 1, Defenders, Punisher, Iron Fist, Luke Cage season 1.
Oh yeah, the Punisher. I forgot about that.
And I'm not putting I put Luke Cage season 1 before Iron Fist and Punisher, and before Iron Fist and Punisher. So
you didn't like the Punisher?
I didn't dislike Punisher, but I felt like a lot of it I didn't care about while I was watching it. I was just like, I just don't care about anything that's going on right now.
I felt like they drew it out a little bit long than normal, but
right. I feel like his season 8 episodes for him would have been perfect. I didn't think he needed the full. I think he had some good moments, and I think he had a lot of lulls. So, but I felt kind of the same about season 2 of Luke Cage, and then when I watched it the second time, I was like, nah. All of this is actually really good writing. I was wrong. I was like, I am wrong about some of this. Some of the stuff I am right about, but a lot of it that was bothering me is because I just wasn't connecting the dots on some things. And I was able to do that. So, shout out to everybody that was involved. Really good. Y'all will be excited. And I think we're done. I think we need to get out of here and allow people to actually go watch season 2 on their own. Come back and listen to us do these spoiler caps. Yeah. All right, y'all. Where's My 40 Acres podcast? This has been Luke Cage season 2 review. And remember, Stokes, Mariah Stokes, not Dillard. Please don't call that woman Dillard. I don't want to see y'all get punched through a wall.
Well, don't say Dillard in front of him.
This nigga did
correct you really fast.
This nigga did 8 Jamaican flash kicks this season, and I'm just like, you don't want to get hit with that Jamaican flash kick, all right? He even got the black guy haircut, so don't let that man.
And he's tall as shit. You could tell he's tall.
Yeah, he is tall. He is definitely tall, and he was doing full flash.
Yeah. In suits too.
This nigga pulled a Jackie Chan in one episode, and I was like, I don't know how the fuck he went from being 6'5" to 2.5, but this nigga is ridiculous. So
and remember, he also had on these fitted pants.
Yeah,
and he's fitted shirts, and he's doing roundhouse.
Ain't ripped shit. That shit was perfectly fitted. And shout out to the Nightshade. Y'all will realize what that is when you watch it. So until then, we'll holler at y'all. Where's My 40 Acres? Luke Cage season 2. We're out. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. If you're on YouTube listening to this, make sure you subscribe there. Let us know what you think of season 2. Let us know what you're looking forward to, and let us know what you'd like to see in season 3. So yeah, we'll holler at y'all. Peace.